So, I have been getting many lessons in humility recently. I only have time to discuss one of them tonight. I realized that my previous video on the jab could have been misinterpreted. I am not blaming anyone but myself for this. I know I have the potential to be wrong about even things I am most confident about, and unfortunately, I am a very arrogant person. It's unfortunate that I communicate poorly on top of that. But anyway, I think a source of confusion in my previous video would be when I said, quote, depending on your reasons for taking it, I do think it's a mark of the beast, if not the mark of the beast. What I was trying to say here is that the mark of the beast is in your heart, not your physical body. The government cannot strap you to a chair and force you to lose your salvation. I don't think that's biblical. In other words, if you took the jab because you worship the government, then I do think it's a mark of the beast. But if you took the jab because you worship Christ, you have not sinned and you have not taken the mark. I can't take the jab because, from my perspective, many people are taking it as an act of worship to the government or the beast. In Daniel, beasts were a reference to nations or governments. If you understand Old Testament apocalyptic literature, you can understand Revelation better. But anyway, I can't take the jab because, from my perspective, many people are taking it as an act of worship to the government or the beast, and I do not want to participate in that. But I was not trying to accuse anyone of sin. If I had a problem, I would confront them privately, not make a passive aggressive video about them. The purpose of my previous video on the jab was to explain my personal conviction not to take the jab and to encourage others with the same conviction. God knows they could use some encouragement right now. I believe that whether or not the jab is a sin depends upon your convictions. In my opinion, this issue is very similar to the one described in 1 Corinthians 8. I will read it for you. Now, about food sacrificed to idols. We know that, quote, we all possess knowledge, end quote, but knowledge puffs up while love builds up. Those who think they know something do not yet know as they ought to know. But that's basically talking about me, unfortunately. But whoever knows God is known by God. So then, about eating food sacrificed to idols. We all know that, quote, an idol is nothing at all in the world, end quote, and that, quote, there is no God but one, end quote. For even if there are so-called gods, whether in heaven or on earth, as indeed there are many, quote, gods, end quote, and many lords, quote, end quote, yet for us there is but one God, the Father, from whom all things came, and from whom we live, and there is but one Lord, Jesus Christ, through whom all things came, and through whom we live. But not everyone possesses this knowledge. Some people are still so accustomed to idols that when they eat sacrificial food, they think of it as having been sacrificed to God, and since their conscience is weak, it is defiled. But food does not bring us near to God. We are no worse if we do not eat, no better if we do. Be careful, however, that the exercise of your rights does not become a stumbling block to the weak. For if someone with a weak conscience sees you, with all your knowledge, eating in an idol's temple, won't that person be emboldened to eat what is sacrificed to idols? So this weak brother or sister for whom Christ died is destroyed by your knowledge. When you sin against them in this way, and wound their weak conscience, you sin against Christ. Therefore, if what I eat causes my brother or sister to fall into sin, I will never eat meat again, so that I will not cause them to fall. So I hope that made it a little more clear, guys. I will probably be doing more videos on similar topics later, but I just hope that you understand me a little better now and that I did not harm anybody or miscommunicate.